Qadry Ismail, who, of course, is Super Bowl champ with the Ravens, 10-year NFL vet, co-hosts the Purple pregame and postgame show on WJZ TV in Baltimore. Hey, Qadry.
Gentlemen, what's going on with you?
Hey, before we get into the game, actually, we were having a discussion about Travis Hunter before, and you're a guy who played NFL wide receiver. Do you think he has the physical abilities to play both sides?
Well, he does. He has a skill set to play both sides. The physical element of it all depends on what they are asking him to do. And so if technically his division really isn't a physical division. It's more of a finesse type of a division. And if you're asking me to come up for some run support, then you're asking the wrong dude. But if you're asking me to cover a guy, be man-to-man, then at receiver, I'm sitting there being an option for Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, I think it can happen. I think it has to be strategic, and you better have coaches that know what they're doing.
Hey, Qadry, can you give us any updates on your son who is in camp with the Las Vegas Raiders trying to make it as a tight end? How's that going for him? Is he optimistic about making the 53 when they cut down the rosters in just a few days now?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. It's going to be interesting because they have Brock Bowers. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he had an amazing rookie year. They have Michael Mayer, who, while he was out last year for personal reasons, he has had a great camp and looks the part. And those are your top two guys. And you have Ian Thomas and then my son. So I think it'll come down to this Arizona Cardinals game where they'll both be battling to see if they can contribute special teams wise. Obviously, they'll do their thing tight end wise. And you just roll the dice and you do what you do as best you can do, and don't sit there and try to look too far ahead. You just got to go out there and play. And that's what I've been telling him. That's what he's been doing. He's put himself in position and having himself a conversation to make the 53-man, and hopefully it'll come to fruition.
So knowing that and having been through this yourself, we've been doing this a long time. These third preseason games are brutal, but the back of the roster stories are always so interesting. Is it hard for you to watch these final games because so many of these guys are really only competing for a few spots? Or do you have so much sort of empathy for them that you're interested and you're locked in?
Well, the last 2 years has been different just because my son has obviously taken the field and, I obviously wanted him to do extremely well and all the things. Covering the Ravens for the amount of years that I have, when I was on their radio broadcast, it became a scenario where I gained an appreciation for what the guys are going through just simply because you're interviewing them and you start to hear their backstories and you're like, wow, man, this dude, he's overcome X, Y, Z and he's really put himself in great position. The Ravens, for what they do, I think it's 20 of the last 21 years that they've had a undrafted rookie free agent make the 53-man roster. And so I look at it as like, all right, well, who's the next Zach Orr? The guy now is, defensive coordinator for the Ravens, but he clearly made the roster and contributed it big time before he had his cervical spine issues that caused him to have to retire. So, I'm fully into it. I can see where the fans might be like, meh, bring on the real deal. We want to see. But if you truly want your team to do well, you would look at this last game and then look beyond just the frontline starters. You want to make sure you guys got some depth because injuries are inevitable, and you want those guys that are playing to not flinch when they get their opportunity to go out there and help your team, whoever your team is, win.
Qadry, what's the impact been of bringing in DeAndre Hopkins into that wide receiver room during the offseason? He can be a real mentor type to the younger guys like Rashad Bateman and Zay Flowers there. Well, what is DeAndre Hopkins bringing to that room so far?
Yeah, I think, again, his veteran presence is the main thing. I think at the same time, for him, it's not necessarily having to to be the guy. It's going out there and making a play here or there. I know Nelson Aguilar for the last few seasons, that's what he did, and he showed up and showed out. I think the catch radius of DeAndre Hopkins and what he can do and bring to the red zone it's intriguing to me. I think at the same time, they have those young players, a guy like a Tez Walker, who last year was a rookie from North Carolina. He was, trying to find his way. Well, he has had an amazing camp. And so I think for him and for Tylan Wallace, those are two guys that you're going to be seeing. And then you'll see DeAndre Hopkins. I think the receiver room is littered with young guys that are itching to play, that have the talent. But I'm sure DeAndre Hopkins, when needed, will make the necessary plays when called upon.
Talking to Qadry Ismail, played in the league for 10 years, Super Bowl champ with the Ravens. Since we're talking receivers, the big story here in D.C. has to do with the receiver who's not playing, Terry McLaurin. How do you see this thing playing out? You went through contract negotiations. What do you think happens here in D.C. with Terry McLaurin?
It is perplexing to me that you feel Terry McLaurin shouldn't pay what he needs to get paid when it comes to the market, the receiver market. It boggles my mind. You're in the NFC Championship game. You reignited a very loyal, strong, amazing fan base. You got yourself a franchise quarterback, young dude, young, and ready to go. I've seen what Lamar Jackson has done to this franchise and this fan base. Like, what are we doing here? You got a go-to receiver that he can rely upon, and you're quibbling like right now. Like, bruh, I know new ownership, old ownership, medium ownership, whatever the ownership. Go ahead and own up to the ship that you need to go ahead and pay homeboy, and let's get it done. It doesn't make any sense to me. Terry McLaurin needs to get paid into discussion.
Real quick, as a former receiver, realistically, now I know that he's been training and they had this phantom ankle injury. They were claiming that they were rehabbing, whatever. Apparently he's running there somewhere under the monitor of them, but that's not the same, right? As the reps. How much, let's just say something happens. He either just comes in and plays the final year or they come to an agreement. How much time does he realistically need to ramp up to be ready for week one?
I would say he's a professional that has been there, done that. You give him 8 days. I think the endurance as the season goes on, maybe week 4, he'll be like full go, no worries. Let's get it. But I think 8 days just to get him involved, however many snaps that looks like, but those snaps are going to be critical. So if it's, 20 snaps, then that's all he needs. Go ahead. He's going to show out.
So you say if he comes in, let's just say with 2 weeks or less, that's just basically where we're at. You wouldn't expect him, no matter how great a shape he is, to get a full load of snaps in week one already.
It's not that I wouldn't expect it. I think it's a scenario where, do I put all my eggs in one basket for week one, or am I looking at the long haul of the season? I want him to ramp up into the season. I need him later in the year where that's when it matters. I think that's the issue you run into with contract negotiations that have gone too far into training camp / now.
So it's already gone too far. Season. It's already going to impact the regular season now.
Agreed. You're absolutely right. And so now you best get off to a hot start so you're not sitting there and you're forcing him / the offense to do something that it is not capable of doing.
Right. So you say 8 days to get in there and to get some playing time, 4 weeks in your best estimation to really feel like you're full go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a veteran. He already has that, I know my body already knows what it needs to do mindset. This isn't a young player that is green and wet behind the ears.
Right. But there is a certain number of reps and just sort of body building, for lack of a better phrase, that you need to do to be ready to take this pounding for, 80 plays a game or whatever the hell it is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
It just is what it is.
Qadry, always love talking to you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Fellas, appreciate you.
All right. Good luck to your son. Good luck to your son.
Thank you, man. I'm looking forward to a great game against the Cardinals. Let's kill them.
He's going to have a sweat.
Let's go.
Real sweat.
Qadry Ismail, the Rude Guest Hotline, Rude's most reliable heating and air conditioning products in the DMV. Coming up next, we'll switch gears and open up EB's entertainment page. Don't go anywhere.